How present are you when you're speaking to someone, when you really want to get a point across, or you're sharing with someone? How present are you? You know, when we're in a talk and a discussion and we're having a conversation with someone, we usually think about what it is that we are focused on. And we're always wanting to, like people always having to prove ourselves to the other person. I was talking to my daughters over lunch yesterday. It was dinner, and we're talking about our experiences in life and how people come across, and then it was a reflection for each one of us to really look inside ourselves and see how do we show up when there is a connection, when there is a conversation going on, and when we truly need to be present for the other person, but we're not, because we've got this other thing going on in the back of our heads that, oh my goodness, I want to say this before I forget it. This is really important for the other person to hear, and then you forget it because you want to serve the person at your higher level, like you want to serve the person from your core, right? So many people have this this need to contribute, need to serve. But sometimes, you know what? The best way to serve someone is to actually just sit there and listen. Give them your presence because they're going to feel it. As soon as we go into our head, we're dead. We start analyzing, we start thinking, we start thinking of the next response. We're going to start thinking of how I should be thinking instead of how I am thinking. And it's very judgmental. There's this big judge inside that's constantly at us going, oh no, that's not how you should be thinking. And before it comes to our mouth, a lot of people are politically correct these days, and we're very sensitive to how our friends are going to feel, how our family are going to feel, how other people are going to perceive us. But what is it? What is more important than how you feel? What is more important than how you're going to perceive yourself and perceive everybody else? And from what mindset are you coming from when you're judging somebody else, even though you don't mean to judge, but that judgment is going on because there's some discernment. We try to do the best thing we can, right? So to identify or to determine if something is good or bad, that's what our brain does. It's determine what things are good and what things are discerning, like how to discern, how to judge what's good for us or not. And then we go into this internal conversation in our heads, and you're not even listening to what the other person's saying. And this also happens with coaching clients that I have. They will want to say everything about the situation and make themselves right. And then there is no judgment from me, but they are judging and assuming that I'm judging, but there is no judgment going on because I'm not listening to the content of the story. We listen to how you're thinking, how you're processing and watching eye patterns and body language. And then also knowing your internal representational systems. So if we know that, we know we don't need to know the content. We don't need to know what's in the cup. We don't need to know what's happening inside of that. We need to know how it's happening inside. So yeah, anyway, so I was talking to my daughters and we were talking about somebody trying to make a point. And while we are talking to each other, there's many things that's running, even in our conversation. We were so aware of it. I love them because they are so aware of wanting to fix, wanting to jump in and say something, wanting to contribute, wanting to love, wanting to soothe, wanting to nurture. And it's so beautiful to see them so beautifully. And we all do that with the best of intention. But sometimes what's really nice is just to listen. Like my mom, she just listens and just absorbs and just loves on you. And when you can feel heard, you feel so much of healing going on inside that you just feel full. There is no judgment. She loves me anyway. She loves my goals anyway. And we love each other, my daughters and me. And of course, my son and my close ones. So there is no judgment. When you love somebody truly, there is no judgment. And then sometimes, if you do forget what you want to say, then sometimes it's not that important, because just being present for that person, just being present in yourself, giving yourself the gift of really listening. What is this person actually wanting? What is this person actually needing? Is it about her incident that has happened? Is it about her just needing to be heard? Is it about her just feeling present with you? Because when we make the other person, we can't make anybody else feel anyway. When we give our presence to someone, they feel it. They feel that presence, they feel that connection, they feel the heart. And the soul cannot deny that. So when we are completely present with someone, when we're listening, how that person is beautifully sharing their heart, their soul, and when we can share and accept and receive that beauty, that's our gift in the world to experience. And we miss that. We miss the gifts that we get from the universe, from God, from the powers that are, guiding the stars, that guides you too. We miss that gift, because that's what this experience has been created for in this life. And this life is so special. And if we're missing the gifts of this life, then we're not really living, because this life is full of gifts. And to experience that real living, you really have to do it for yourself, right? To give yourself that gift of being with yourself, of being present for somebody else, because you can be present with yourself. When you're not present with yourself and you can't be present with yourself, you can't be present for anybody else. So just being present with yourself, like many people meditate, and more people are meditating. I've been meditating since I was 9, with a proper process, and I do transcendental meditation. And even then, we go in and we practice the process, yeah. But being completely present with yourself when you're talking to somebody else, and hearing yourself, what you're thinking, and all the stuff that's going on, the mental chatter, when we can calm that down, then we can really truly listen to what the other person's saying. And a lot of people know that I love talking, and I love chatting. And sometimes I've learned over the years, like, I can just switch that down right back when I'm coaching, because I'm being consciously present, of being present. Yeah. So sometimes people say, and this is the main core of what I wanted to say right now, and it's very important because this came up in our discussion, that trying to be present isn't being present, because trying to do something isn't doing it at all. So if I say to you, here's the pen, try to pick it up, I'll try to pick it up, but that's picking it up. That's not trying. So how do I try to pick it up? So I'm trying to pick it up and it's there. But if I pick it up, that's not trying to pick it up, that's picked it up. So I'm going to try to pick it. There's no such thing as trying, because you haven't picked it up. I'm trying to pick it up. Well, no, because if you did try, what happens? So there's that beautiful space of trying and actually doing it. So trying to be present isn't being present. There's no way you can try to be present, because I'm not trying, I'm being. The magic is in the being. So just be present. Don't try. And that's it. You can do lots of meditation and try, but that's not being. So be in meditation, be in yourself, be present to the inner thoughts, be present to your pulse beating, your heart, your breath. And more people are doing breath work because it's healing. And the more pranayama you do, the more healing your body gets. That's for another day. But I just wanted to say, just trying to be, being. You can't try, you have to just be. So let's take a moment and just be. I don't have to close my eyes. I can just be with you, And many of you would find this uncomfortable and you would leave right now. But I urge you to just stay present with yourself. You don't have to look at me. You just be, being. And some of you might find it boring to just be. Well, what am I going to say next? What is she going to say next? What is going to happen next? Why is she doing this? Well, can we just be? Can we just be with ourselves? Can we just take that breath and not feel compelled to do something after that? Not think that, oh, I'm missing something because I have this space now. I'm wasting time, because time does matter. Like, time travels so fast when you're just being. Sometimes you go to meditate and then you get fully awake. And it's like an hour later. And you're like, oh my goodness, that just didn't feel like an hour. Because time does not exist when you're just being. Like people say, oh, when you're really doing what you love, the time just flies when you're having fun, right? And so when you're doing what you love, time just flies. Why? Because you're just being. You're having fun in the moment. You are not pre-planning. You are not preparing. You are not forethinking. You are not worrying about something in the future. You are not thinking about something in the past. You were just in that moment having fun. And you were just being. That's how come time just went. So don't worry about the time when we're just being. Now let's try that again. And just be without thinking anything. So just being, bringing yourself back to the breath. Stay with it. Do you hear that sound? Do you not hear that? Do you feel that if you're sitting down, do you feel the bottom of your body? Do you feel your feet on the floor? Now you do, only because I brought your awareness to it. So that's why just being, let it go. That's it. Deep breath in. Let it go. Good. Now that would have made you feel a lot better, giving yourself a little more time with yourself, and just an awareness about where your mind is running, because I know that you've been busy. You're scrolling through Facebook or Instagram or any social media. You come across this and then you're like, oh my goodness, I don't have time for this. I need to do this. I need to be active. I need to do that. Sometimes you really need to slow down to really get ahead. You really need to slow down. You need to slow down to speed up. And that's the secret of meditation as well. I used to cheat. I used to have 3 kids under 7. I was a single mom and I was working briefly because it was very difficult. And so I would meditate. So meditation, I would meditate for 20 minutes and it was like I used to meditate an hour, and it was like 4 hours of meditation. And that was cheating. I used to cheat the system because I was doing 1 hour meditation, and it used to be like 1 o'clock in the morning because I didn't really have time to sleep because I had to get the kids ready for school, and then the whole routine, getting the kids ready for school, getting them packed up, do the lunches, get everybody done, let them go out, and then all of a sudden you've got all this washing to do, and you go clean up the kitchen, you do the washing, you do all the ironing, you do everything, get it ready for them, so that when they come back from school, everything's ready for them to carry on doing, and they're taken care of. And then you put everybody into the bathrooms, get them all washed up, get them meditating, get them food into them, read them bedtime stories, think of nice things to eat and do and enjoy with each other, and then off to bed they go. And that took a lot of time. But I tell you what, I wouldn't have been able to do it without meditating for an hour every day. I did an hour in the morning, like midnight, and it was so good. So good for my mental peace, so good for cheating the energy distribution in my day. It was really nice. So I wanted to share these things with you because they're really important for us to get ahead in life. And these are the practices I've been doing. I'm not just a coach. I'm not just a master coach or trainer. I am just here telling you these things work, and do them. Do them because they work. They're scientifically proven. That's why many, many more people do meditation, yoga, clean diet, because these things keep you living longer, healthier. Your mind is healthy, body is healthy, and your spirit is amazing. So that's what I want for you too. And if you're already there and you're beaming, I'm so happy. Teach more people. You can teach more people how to be in that state, to be living in the present moment. And I must admit, I'm not like a saint, that I'm not totally present with everybody at every single moment. We're just human, right? But we can be present when we are consciously aware of what we're doing and what we're not doing and who we're being. Because we're doing so much. We're doing and not being, then we lose the essence of living, the essence of being in this planet. So I want to thank you for your time, and I hope you got something really important, something you can cherish and really implement back into your day. So let us know, what is it you're taking away from this, and what's that one thing that you want to implement in your life, even if it's 2 seconds that you want to do this for 2 seconds, and then you build up to 4 seconds, and then you do it 20 seconds, and then you do it for 2 minutes, you do it for 2 hours, you do it for 4 hours, and then you do it for many, many days. So let's share with me, what is it you want to create in your life and how you want to show up for yourself and others. And sometimes it just takes that you don't really want to be in presence of others, then you just don't show up there. You show up for yourself and you honor yourself, and you don't have to be there. And it's really quite okay to say no. And that will be for another discussion on how to empower yourself and have good boundaries to say no. Okay, lovelies, I've got to go. Please share. I'd love to hear from you. And take care. God bless.